Let me ask you something directly. When you stopped contacting her, were you trying to gain power, or were you trying to survive your own urge to reach out first? Because this entire conversation is not about silence as a tactic, it is about what silence exposes. When you pulled back, did you expect her to panic? Did you expect her to suddenly realize your value? Did you expect regret to hit her immediately? Or did you feel the anxiety creeping in when nothing happened? This is what most men never understand. Silence does not create emotion out of thin air. Silence removes structure. And when structure disappears, truth surfaces. When you stop contacting her, the first thing that happens is not emotional. There is no dramatic reaction. There is no sudden confession. There is no immediate longing. There is a pause. And that pause is where most men lose their emotional balance. Because when nothing happens, you start assuming everything. You assume she does not care. You assume you never mattered. You assume you already lost. But silence is not rejection. Silence is disruption. If you were the one initiating, the one checking in, the one maintaining rhythm, your absence does not trigger emotion first. It interrupts a pattern. Think about it clearly. If someone has been part of your routine, you do not immediately panic when they stop. You notice. You register the absence. Your brain adjusts. That is what she is doing. You were part of a system, a routine, a predictable structure. Even if the connection felt mutual, one person usually carries rhythm more than the other. If that person was you, your silence does not collapse the dynamic, it freezes it. She notices you are not there. She notices you did not check in. She notices the predictability is gone. But she does not react immediately, because humans first recalibrate before they feel. Here's what most men misunderstand. Sometimes you are valued for who you are. Other times you are relied on for how consistently you show up. There is a difference. If you were valued deeply, your absence creates emotional disturbance. If you were simply reliable, your absence creates logistical adjustment. That distinction determines everything. Silence reveals whether you were emotionally chosen or structurally convenient. This stage feels difficult because you are removed from the pattern but not yet replaced in her mind. You are no longer guaranteed, but you are not yet mourned either. You are being recalculated. This is where anxiety attacks you. You expect reaction. When none comes, you rush to restore the old rhythm. You send a message. You check her story. You break the pause. And when you do that, you teach her something powerful. Access to you never truly changed. You showed her that silence was temporary discomfort, not structural shift. And once access feels guaranteed again, attraction has no pressure to operate. This stage is not about winning, it is about observation. Can you sit inside uncertainty without collapsing into reassurance seeking? Can you tolerate not knowing? Because the moment you break silence to soothe yourself, you lose the leverage that silence creates. If the connection meant something beyond convenience, something subtle begins to happen. Curiosity. Not longing, not romance, not regret. Curiosity. Her mind begins asking questions. Why did he stop? Did I misjudge him? Did he lose interest? Did something change? This stage is mental, not emotional, and most men confuse thinking with missing. Just because she is thinking about you does not mean she misses you. Curiosity is about control. Desire is about attachment. Silence removes certainty, and certainty is what slowly kills attraction when it becomes guaranteed. If she assumed you would always show up, silence disrupts that assumption. That disruption triggers reassessment. You must understand this clearly. Curiosity creates attention. Attention does not equal longing. She may replay small moments. She may rethink conversations. She may reconsider assumptions, but that does not automatically translate into action. This is the stage where men begin overanalyzing everything. A delayed post, a vague quote, a subtle change in behavior. Every detail feels like confirmation that silence is working. But silence is not about working, it is about revealing. If she valued you deeply, curiosity lingers. If she valued your availability more than your presence, curiosity fades quickly, and that outcome is not something you control. This is the test of your composure. Can you remain grounded while she recalibrates? Can you avoid checking her social media every hour? Can you avoid interpreting breadcrumbs as breakthroughs? Because curiosity only works in your favor if you don't rush to resolve it. The moment you break silence because you sense she is thinking, you shift the frame back to chasing. Let curiosity breathe. Let uncertainty exist. If she begins to feel the absence emotionally, the dynamic shifts naturally. If she does not, you gain clarity without humiliation, and clarity is power. When she watches but does not message, do you assume she wants you back? Or do you panic because you cannot tell what it means? This stage confuses many men. After curiosity settles, observation begins. Social media has changed everything. It allows access without exposure. She can see how you move without revealing her interest. She watches your stories. She sees your activity. She gathers information, but she does not reach out. This is not romance. It is data collection. She is comparing two versions of you. The version she had guaranteed access to, and the version that now feels distant. Here is where silence either strengthens your position or destroys it. If your online presence becomes reactive, you expose emotional instability. Sad quotes, indirect captions, forced confidence, performative happiness. All of it signals the same thing. You are still centered around the situation. Silence only holds power if your posture changes. The goal is not to look unaffected. The goal is to look occupied. There is a difference. Unbothered looks forced. Occupied looks real. When your life visibly continues, contrast develops, and contrast creates tension. If you pretend not to care, it feels artificial. If you genuinely redirect your focus toward your own growth, it feels authentic. Women sense emotional posture. If she sees that your life did not stall without her, curiosity deepens. If she sees emotional noise, leverage disappears. Observation is not commitment. A story view is not a decision. A like is not a declaration. Do not confuse attention with intention. If the connection had depth, curiosity eventually turns into testing. Testing is subtle, a casual message, a random question, a shared memory, a reaction that invites response. These are not accidents, they are probes. She is not declaring attachment, she is checking whether access remains. This is where emotional relief betrays you. The moment her message arrives, you feel validated. You feel chosen again. You respond immediately. You over-explain. You re-establish warmth. And without realizing it, you teach her something. Nothing changed. You were paused, not repositioned. Silence without posture shift is delay, not growth. You do not pass this stage by being cold, you pass it by being grounded. Grounded means calm, measured, unrushed. You respond because you choose to, not because you feel relief. You do not punish her, you do not reward her. You simply operate from a new baseline. If her interest was shallow, testing stops quickly. If her attachment was real, effort increases, and even then, nothing is guaranteed. Eventually, silence produces an outcome. She returns with effort, or she does not. If she reaches out sincerely, silence revealed buried attraction. If she does nothing, silence revealed imbalance. This stage hurts when expectation was high, but it gives clarity. You cannot negotiate desire. You cannot convince someone to value you through effort alone. If she does not act when access changes, she was not anchored, and that is feedback. The final stage is not about her, it is about you. Can you accept the outcome without bitterness? Can you walk away without resentment? Because silence does not punish her, it removes illusion. If she returns with effort, you move forward with stronger footing. If she does not, you step away with clarity instead of confusion. And clarity protects your dignity. The real power was never in silence itself. It was in your ability to face truth without chasing validation. So the real question is not whether silence worked. The real question is what it showed you, and whether you are strong enough to accept what it revealed.